everybody, it's a beautiful day. Look at these gorgeous clouds. Hold on, let me get in a better spot up on these rocks. I'm gonna do a mindful message in a minute. You're just so puppy and beautiful. And it's so nice out. A little chilly now that it's closer to 6. I have a 9 to 5 job, so I do my walking around dinner time when most people are eating or coming home from work. But today's mindful message is gearing up for summer. A lot of us out here, my kids are no longer here, unfortunately. Such is life, but I still want to help parents out there that are looking for things to teach kids. I worked with preschool, kindergarten, and babies and toddlers, so I know a lot of little kids stuff, but I'm leaning into more older kids stuff for the summer for you guys. Sorry. Speaking of summer, the bikes are out, but this would be probably for like 3rd grade and up, because you're starting to teach them life skills but doing it for fun. But before I get into this, by the way, our topic today is what can you cook with your kids to teach them for their life, but also to teach them to be independent. The golden rule is you have to gauge this on your own child. It really depends on your child's assessment of responsibility. If they are trustworthy enough to not cook these things when you are not home, just stick to microwave stuff. The golden rule I heard today from my boss, who taught his daughter how to cook, is not to really teach them to make anything with boiling water, because that could be really dangerous. But if you're cooking with them and you're making dishes with them, that's a different story. You just need to make sure that your child knows they're only to be cooking a certain way when you are home and able to supervise. And then the golden rule, I think, is healthy for an 8-year-old. Anything in a microwave, just make sure they know not to put metal in it. And if it acts funny or if it short circuits, what they should do to be safe with the microwave, because I know a lot of stuff can go down with a microwave, but you know, there's hot pockets, there's all kinds of stuff that you can teach your kid to make in a microwave. This will help them for snacks after school in the summer. Maybe you're just busier. Teaching them independence around this age is really great, because they're still children. They still have short attention spans, but at the same time, they're more able to focus and they're able to understand seriousness a little bit better than a 5 or 6-year-old. It does make a little bit of a difference between like a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old. That's why I say, like, it depends. If your child is very responsible and they love cooking with you, you can get them in there as a toddler, but you really need to drill home that they aren't to be doing those things without an adult. And all right, let's get into it. I think you know the basic average safety stuff, but make sure your kid knows about fire safety and the difference between a grease fire and a regular fire. The difference is if you throw water on a grease fire, it gets worse. It feeds the fire. So putting flour, baking soda, anything like that, having that near your stove is always helpful. It can save your entire house from going up in flames. So make sure they know the difference and what to do if there is a fire. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher in your kitchen. You can order them on Amazon. They're very cheap. Having these things around your home and starting to teach your kids this stuff is very important, not just for cooking, but for life. But these are basic things that you need to hammer home with your kids before you start cooking. Knife and utensil safety is also vital depending on what you're cooking. They do have safer knives for kids that you can order that doesn't have a serious blade in it, because kids are getting more active in the kitchen, and I think that's great and I highly support it. So let's see. the basics, grilled cheese and soup. This is something they could eat in college when they live in their own apartment. That's a good way, you know, to teach them about the fry pan and how to flip things. There's nothing really boiling about a grilled cheese sandwich. Soup is pretty easy, especially if you get it out of a can and you just add water. I would start there, but you can teach them to make homemade soup. Just work your way up. Remember, these are kids. We need to start with basic steps. Even if you are a chef, it is nice for them to get the encouragement from making something easy first, not too hard. And then this would be a good assessment on how well they listen, how they participate, and if they can be safe. That I would start there. Then of course you have hot dogs. If you grill a lot, you can teach your kids in a safe way how to grill. If they are mature enough, I would probably wait for that one, like 12 or 13. The grill is a whole different ball game. However, if you are a chef and you want to start your kids early, I just think as long as you hammer home that safety and they have supervision, you know what you're doing, right? Make sure you have a timer for kids because they get distracted. You get distracted, you might burn something. Most microwaves have them, by the way, so you don't need to buy one. You can just figure out your microwave. I forgot to say that. Mac and cheese from a box is a good way to start, but you can also teach them how to make it from scratch, especially as you advance in this cooking, because that is something everybody loves, and it's a great dish to bring or impress future in-law parents. Wink, wink. Sausage and steak as well on the grill, by the way. Ravioli. You can start with the can, then you can move to the ravioli that you buy frozen, teach them about the sauce, and then if you really want to, you can teach them how to make ravioli from scratch, if you know how to do that. Kids love waffle makers and making pancakes, eggs. Teach them all the different ways you can make an egg. You can actually make an egg in a microwave a lot of ways. You might want to teach your kid that because they can make that and for themselves in the microwave. Pastas are always a good start as well if they're safe with the boiling water. Any kind of pasta, you can make it from scratch, but I feel like you should start with pre-made pasta and just in the beginning. Everything is easing in with kids. You don't want to start off with something too hard and too complex because you might turn them off from cooking. They might be like, oh, this is too much, I can't take it, and just never give it another chance. You don't want to project that. So start with something so easy it's almost boring to you. To them it's going to be a first time and it's going to be exciting. And like I said, your first time cooking anything is a gauge on how well they're going to listen, if they're going to be safe, if they're ready for it. Another good way to start with that is making desserts, cupcakes, cake pops, cookies, all that kind of stuff. Kids love to bake. Meatloaf and lasagna, once you get more advanced, they are pretty easy once you get the basic steps. And I would put that as a challenge, like your whole cooking concept with your kid. Everything you do next should be a little bit more of a challenge, or just be learning new stuff all the time. It's a way for them to learn how to read things and comprehend measuring and science. Cooking is a great way for math and just basically learning comprehension as well as bonding. So basically you can make anything. I did a whole list, but I'm not going to read it because at the end of the day, we all know what staple things are. All the stuff you ate in college, all the stuff you buy in a box to make. It's not the greatest, it's not the healthiest, but that's not the point. This is bonding with your kids and easing into foods that are more sustainable. Of course, always teach them about healthy food. Take them out in the garden. Let them try the crops right from the vine. I used to love eating green beans and like carrots fresh out of the garden. Kids love that stuff. Start there and then make something with it. It's going to blow their mind. You know, they have so much to learn about the world. And cooking, like I said, mixes a lot of subjects. And it's a life skill that they can use later. So I hope this is helpful.